Hello, my name is Hannah Lloyd, and I have chosen the passage of text found in Luke chapter 17, verses 11 through 18. If one were to read the New Testament, he would see that Jesus does all kinds of miracles in the Gospels. In Luke 17, 11 through 18, a specific miracle happened pertaining to 10 lepers. The miracle of Jesus healing them from leprosy presents many interesting ideas. This story is taking place where Jesus is traveling in areas where he's much lesser known. His fame has still been spread, but it's only on this road leading up to basically his crucifixion in Jerusalem, where he teaches many parables and lessons and performs miracles, such as this one pertaining to the 10 lepers. This story is important because it shows one of the causes of Christ's accusations of blasphemy leading up to the cross, how Christ had no prejudice towards a certain race or culture, and how God's people should always give thanks to him for the works he does. So this story in Luke 17 of the 10 miraculously healed lepers took place on Jesus' journey to Jerusalem and ultimately to the cross where he died. Each story of a miracle holds an individual importance and message, but the broader idea of the importance of these miracles, and this one specifically, is that it was one of the miracles that inevitably led up to Christ's accusation by the Romans as a blasphemer, which leads to his crucifixion. It's important to understand that it was stories like this current miracle that accumulated to spread the news as Jesus as the Messiah. So when Jesus arrived in Jerusalem, his followers hailed him the Messianic king, while Israel's leaders devised plans against him. It was difficult for the leaders to come up with a reason to accuse him on trial. Pilate and King Herod couldn't even think of a reason to crucify Jesus. Luke tells this miracle specifically, along with others, to show the gaining fame or the growing fame of Christ as it leads up to his crucifixion. Although this miracle, doesn't directly cause Jesus' crucifixion, it's an added cause to the others, which as a whole are the reason that the Israelite leaders were given a reason to crucify Christ. So the theme of non-prejudice and love towards all men is shown through this miracle in Luke chapter 17 especially. The controversy of this passage is due to the one Samaritan leper who came back to give praise to Christ. Samaritans were especially despised by the Jews for many reasons. They were separatists from the Jewish church and had not the pure knowledge and worship of God among them that the Jews had. Other Jews of that day might say that this Samaritan did not deserve to be healed. It was culturally unheard of for a Jew to interact with a Samaritan at this time. The fact that Jesus, the Israelites' Messiah, the Jewish Messiah, would so easily provide a miracle for a Samaritan held a large importance. Dr. Brickell says in his book, The Handbook on the Gospels, that Luke overturned the misconception that a person's physical deformities were the result of his or her character flaws. Luke portrays Jesus changing the ideologies surrounding the sick and low-status persons in this book. There were many other stories told in Luke concerning lower-class people, such as the story of the tax collector Zacchaeus. This story, though, and the whole book of Luke provides ideas which support the message of the gospel for all nations and all people. So there have been many applications of this miraculous healing or this story preached to people, but the main one applicable specifically to apostolics is to give thanks. It's in the volume of Luke Acts that Pentecostal identity and DNA deeply rooted in biblical context is found out. And the climax of this story is the one Samaritan leper who returned back to give praise to the Lord. When he saw that he was healed, instead of going forward to the priests to be by him declared clean and so discharged from his confinement as a leper, which is all that the rest aimed at, he turned back to Jesus, who was the author of his cure, whom he wished to have the glory of it before he received the benefit of it. The church can often become like the 9 other Jews in this situation, ungrateful for their blessing. Christ recognizes when his people are thankful. Therefore, it is vital that the church give thanks for what he has done. I found my 2 sources from Brother Brickell's book, Handbook on the Gospels, and then also Matthew Henry's commentary on the book of Luke.